Hey guys, Parallel here, and welcome to Star Trek Online. And this weekend was actually a Dilithium weekend in Star Trek Online, which is a special event that goes on every now and then, where you get bonus Dilithium from doing certain activities in the game. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to show actually doing some Dilithium mining. Now, dilithium mining is always a good idea to do during the dilithium weekends, because you do get actually double the dilithium, as opposed to all the other rewards that reward dilithium give extra 50%, which is still good. So if you do like a queue or a patrol or something along those lines, you can still get an extra 50% dilithium, but the actual mining activity gives you a full double. So it is generally a good idea to do that during the dilithium weekend and stock up, farm up some dilithium ore. Now, as you can see, I'm going to go through and do some dilithium mining here. I'm going to go do it in both the dilithium asteroid and in the fleet holding. And I'll go through there and show you the little mini game that you have to do for those. Especially if you're a new player. I know when I was a new player, I didn't even really knew that these existed, and these are a good way to get dilithium ore. In general, they're good, but definitely on the dilithium, bonus weekends, definitely a good idea to do it then. And you can do these at very low level, so I think you'll like to be like level 10. So it's a good place to start getting your ore. Now, so yeah, as you can see here, I'm in the Alpha Quadrant. So what you want to do is go to the Bajor sector, and you actually, the two holdings are pretty close together. So you have the asteroid, the dilithium asteroid here, and you also have the fleet holding. Now, to be able to do the dilithium mine fleet holding, you have to, of course, be in a fleet. And that fleet also has to have a... so if you are in a fleet, go to your fleet and check out your dilithium mine, and you'll see... I believe you have to be a tier 3 dilithium mine to get all of the daily missions there, which I will show you when we get there. So, but for now, let's just start at the dilithium asteroid. We'll head there, which I'm actually very close, so I'll just fly there manually. So here we go. So this might be a little bit helpful, especially for newer players. I'm sure experienced players have probably seen this many, many times, but here it is. This is the dilithium asteroid. Now, when you come here, you're going to need a spacesuit or an environmental suit in order to be able to do the dilithium mining. If you don't have one, you can just come up here and talk to this guy, and you can just buy the basic suit for 85 dilithium, which is not very much at all, and it'll get the job done. You can even come over here and you can practice the mini game that you play for dilithium mining, so that's always helpful. But otherwise, you come talk to this person, and this person will offer you the 2 quests, and they are daily quests. So you can only do the mining, I think it's once every 20 hours, I believe. So you want to get the regular mission. And there is another mission here called the Rich Dilithium Claim. Now, this one you can only do if you have the Rich Dilithium Claim item, which you get from the reward packs. So if you've been opening those Year of Hell lockboxes, you may have gotten lucky and gotten a few of the Rich Dilithium Claims. And that's the daily quest to do those. So you do have to have those dilithium claims to do it from the lockboxes. And if you do get those from the lockboxes, I definitely recommend saving them for the dilithium weekends. I mean, those rich claims give you a ton of dilithium. I think it's somewhere, if you do it on the dilithium weekend, I think you get almost 10k dilithium ore just from doing the mini game once. So, and doing that daily mission. You only have to do it once for the daily mission. So it's definitely worth it. So if you get some of those rich dilithium claims, hang on to them until the next dilithium weekend, and you can get a ton of ore for very little effort. Alright, but I already have a spacesuit. which I'm actually going to be using the Solanae spacesuit that you get during the Solanae mission episode, which is one of the free ones, so I will put it on. There we go. Pretty cool looking spacesuit, I always liked it. And then once you've picked up the quest, you just exit the airlock. Alright, let's zoom out a little bit. So you can see the daily quest gives you 5 plots of ore where you can go mine. And I believe the rich mine is over here somewhere. If you have the rich mine claim, you'll also see a 6th area that you can go for that, which I unfortunately don't have. So let's see here. Let's start over on this one, I suppose. So I'm actually a little bit rusty on this minigame. Unfortunately, the Dilithium weekend event is actually almost over by the time I'm recording this. By the time this goes live, it may already be over, so I was actually on vacation for the last few days, so I didn't get a chance to do much dilithium mining, but I figured I might as well make a video about it tonight as the weekend is winding down, and so everyone gets a chance to see what it's like and what the rewards are. So this is the minigame. It's pretty simple. You just have to align this triangle in with the sort of the white outer triangle with the red inner triangle. Just using the arrow keys, you align them up, and then for the duration while it's lined up, you get you see your score adding up there at the top. And at the end of the event, so at the end of the event tells you your score, 660 points, and you collect your ore, which is, so for 660 points, that's how much you get, 324 dilithium ore. And the minigame itself lasts for a minute, so that's pretty good amount of ore for the amount of time invested, particularly on the dilithium weekend, that's for sure. Yeah, let's keep heading over this way. And here's the next patch of rocks. There is definitely an element of random luck to this minigame. You can kind of see as time winds down, the amount of score you get per tick goes up. So really in the last 20 seconds or so of the game is when you get the majority of your points, and it's pretty random how long, how many it's pretty random how long the duration is and how many score you get before it resets and you have to align again. So usually you can get 3-ish ticks, I would say, is the average. You can get like a 3 bar fill up in your score per each time you align it. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less, but it has that random factor to it. But it's definitely more towards the end of the minigame is when you get most of your score. So if you get lucky and the bar fills up lots of times while you align the triangles, you could very easily get a higher score. And if not, if it only get a few ticks and you have to keep realigning it and realigning it while the time is ticking down, you can often get a lower score as well. I believe the scoring is tiered, so you do get more dilithium, based on your score. The higher the score, the more dilithium. There's certain breakpoints, and I'm pretty sure the top breakpoint is 700, I believe. Hopefully I will get a better score on one of these so you can see. There we go. 735. Yeah, there we go. 400 ore. So, yeah, if you get above 700 score. Oh yeah, this guy right down here is where you get the. If you have the rich dilithium claim, you'll just head right down there, and there's like one. All you have to do is do one large rich dilithium mining ore, and you get like 10,000 ore. So it's yeah, it's definitely worth it. Those rich dilithium claims are really, really nice. But yes, if you get the 700 score, if you get above 700, then you get 400 dilithium ore as a reward. If you get, I think you have to get above 500, so like 500 to 700, you get the lower amount, the 325 ore. And if you get below 500, you even get less than that. Although, once you are at least mildly good at this mini game, it's pretty easy to get over a 500 score, unless it's really lagging for you. I did notice that this game is somewhat susceptible to lag, because the bar, if you have a very laggy connection, the bar will, it'll time out faster, you have to align it more, and there's more lag to when the bar will actually calculate your points, and you just generally get a lower score with a lot of lag. There we go, got above 700. Oh, 815. But as you can see, even if you get above that, it doesn't give you any more ore. You still get the 405. So I think that's the cap. Although I did get some materials there. I wonder if you get maybe better materials, still scale up a little bit. I'm not sure about that. And let's head over here to the last ore area. And so yeah, once we finish up this the asteroid quest, once we finish up the dilithium ore in this on the asteroid, we can head over to the fleet holding. And there's actually 3 more daily quests you can do over there. I don't know if I will do all of them, but I will at least show it to you so you have an idea of where to go. When I joined the fleet, I was also a little bit confused on where to go for the dilithium holding, and where the quest was, and where you actually need to go to do the mining, and what was the best way to do it. So I can show all that on screen here, and so you have a good idea of what to do. Oh, 695, so close. But yeah, back to the 324. So that was it. Pretty quick, and you can just quickly return to the airlock and make sure to turn it in so it starts your 20-hour countdown when you turn it in. So if you'd like to do it the next day, definitely turn that in, and there you go. Well, I already had some there, but so I mean that's 5. I mean, in theory you could get about 2,000 ore if you get perfect on every for each mining cycle, or for each mini game. You could get 400, and there's 5 of them, so yeah, you could get 2,000 ore for a pretty quick amount of time. So definitely worth it. Even on so we're gonna head up here to the dilithium fleet holding here, but definitely on the dilithium weekends it's very worth it. On normal, just normal, when the event is not running and you're not getting the double dilithium ore, it's a little less worth it. I mean, it's still, if you need the ore, you know, more than anything else, and you feel it's worth the time, it's, you know, it's still a good way to get ore. But I quickly grew sick of the mini game, trying to, you know, farm that every day, and I have more fun just running queues or patrols. So I usually just get my dilithium that way, you know, during normal times when the event's not running. So here we are. I just went to the fleet dilithium holding, and this is what it looks like. Let's beam down to the actual dilithium mine base. So here it is. This is what the fleet dilithium mine holding looks like. Once you get this up to tier 3, there are actually some stores and things here if you want to get your what's the store? Oh yeah, this one has, if you want the enhanced neutronium alloy consoles for engineering. So there's like neutroniums with plus turn rate, neutronium alloy with plus EPS. You know, those could be good. You know, plus 18% power transfer rate. So, you know, these are definitely pretty decent console to fill out an engineering slot if you got an extra. I do recommend those. And of course you have there's another vendor over here that has the dilithium mine warp cores. The elite fleet warp cores. These also have amp, so they're decent warp cores. They've fallen a little bit out of favor because of the Spire warp cores, which, you know, have similar stats, but also have the energy drain resistance to your weapon system. So those are considered slightly better because they have reduce the weapon's power cost of your weapon firing cycles, and makes it so, you know, you keep your power up a little bit higher, so it's actually a better increase to DPS than these cores here. So people tend to prefer those Spire cores now. So, but to actually do the daily quest for the dilithium mining, you come over to this guy right here, and since I'm in the tier 3 or since my fleet has a tier 3 dilithium mine, there's actually 3 daily quests you can do here. There is the impure, the rich, and then the pure. So you talk to this guy and grab them, and then what you actually do is you run right out here, and as soon as you go outside you will also be out in the vacuum of space, so you will need your environment suit. So we'll put that back on. And we'll just take a look at the map real quick here. So you see, you know, this is the area here where we are, where your dilithium mine fleet holding is. And once you go out this, you know, out this force field, you will be out into the actual mining area. So since we have, there's actually 3 quests here. The 2 lower quests give you, each one has 5 mining plots that you can go mine for dilithium ore. And then this one that's over here, it's usually in this area, is the pure, the pure dilithium mine. And this one is really nice. It will actually, it's just one, you just have to, you know, mine just the one plot, but it gives you a lot more ore just from that one. So what I'll probably do here, typically, you know, if you're plotting out the path you want to take to be the most time efficient, I usually start on the upper right here and kind of go clockwise through here and end up here. And the reason I do that is because this area right here, kind of off to the left, is where you need to drop down in order to get to the rich dilithium mine at the end. So you kind of make your way around and then you head down to the rich mine. So I'll do a few of them here, and then I'll head down to the rich mine and show you where that is and finish up the video there. So, but again, each of one of these quests gives you almost the same amount as, you know, as you did on well, it does give you the same amount. So all of the actual individual plots give you exact same amount of ore that you could get on the regular dilithium asteroid. So let's head out here. So I'll start over here and kind of work clockwise. So I'm not sure exactly why, but you know, even if you do, there's the 3 different quests: the fractured, you know, the purified, and the I missed that one. The fractured, the purified, and the rich, and I'm not sure why, but they all seem to give the same amount of ore. Well, except for the rich. The rich one gives you, I believe, almost 1,000 ore if you get above the 700 score, just for that one last mine. But all of the other mining areas give you the exact same amount. If you get above the 700 score, it will give you the 400 dilithium ore. Like I said, just keep in mind that that is, you know, since this is at the dilithium weekend, that's why you're getting the 400 ore. On normal days, you would just get the 200. So keep that in mind. So right there, I only got the 324. Let's see if I can get a better score on one here. It's definitely a good idea to pay attention as you're doing this, because you will, you know, if you do want to get that 700 score as much as possible, you do need to be as quick as you can for the most part. Like I said, there is always the element of luck involved, but the faster you are getting the triangles aligned for the minigame, you know, the better of a chance you are of having more and more ticks of your score going up while it's still aligned, and you know, you just have more time. 5, 695, one more. There we go. All right, so I should get the full 400. Yep. Let's head to the next one. So it's pretty much rinse and repeat at this point. You can do this, you know, once per day. And like I said, definitely worth it on dilithium weekends, and you know, also somewhat worth it on, you know, just normal weekdays. But it's up to you. The you know, it does get tiring after a while doing this minigame. I couldn't stand farming it every day for a long time, so I eventually got bored of it and just said, I'll just do this only on the dilithium weekends because it is definitely worth it for the doubled amount. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is per character, so you can do this dilithium mining on each character, and I've actually been doing it on I kind of have four main characters, I guess. I have 4 kind of characters that, I mean, I have tons of alts, but I have 4 that I consider my mains, and I usually run, you know, events like this. I'll do on all 4 of the characters each day, and you know, it works out better that way, because then, you know, if you do have some alts, you know, each alt has a separate 20-hour cooldown, so you can do this quest on every character you have each day. And when you only have a limited time, like during the, you know, weekend dilithium events that happen, you know, the more alts you have, the more alts you can run this on, the better. take advantage of that, the double ore on multiple characters. But yeah, I'm definitely an altaholic, I'll admit it. I've got my 4 main characters, my 4 main level 60 characters that I really like playing. So I have this is my Romulan tactical officer. This is kind of my, focused on just doing maximum DPS, as Romulans are pretty much the kings of. So this is my space DPS character. I also have my Delta Recruit, which is a Federation tactical officer, which is kind of funny. I actually didn't have just a regular Federation tactical officer. I didn't have one, so I figured, during the Delta recruitment event would be a good time to do that. So that's one of my other main characters. That's kind of my newest one. But yeah, since I had a Romulan character already as tactical, I also wanted to have a Federation one just to be able to fly, Federation ships like, the Fleet Avenger and all the other good Federation ships that Romulans don't have access to. At some point I want to get the Fleet Escort that has the Nadion bomb in it. That's one of the other really cool Federation ships out there. 695. I'm trying to remember what that ship is, the one with the Nadion bomb. Oh wait, I'm on Romulan. Well, that's another good ship that I always wanted to try out, and since I didn't have a Federation tactical officer, thought it would be a good idea to do it for the Delta recruitment. And then just to round things out, I do also have my Federation science officer. And then I also have, on the KDF side, is my KDF engineer. So yeah, I wanted to have one of each profession, so a tactical engineer in science, and then I actually ended up with 2 tacticals because I wanted to also have a Federation one and then the Romulan one. So those are my 4 kind of mains, which is nice. You have a good variety of gameplay. I like all 3 of the professions now. They're all fun, in their own way. The different captain abilities are good. Of course, tacticals have the highest DPS. There's no question about that. But the other 2 professions kind of have their own way of doing DPS, which is fun. Yes, just made it. And in particular, they also are all very different on ground. So it's fun to have an engineer in science on the ground. They play a lot differently than the tactical. So if you are interested in alts, I would definitely recommend, picking up at least one of each profession, just for a little bit of variety. And in addition to the variety, you get the other advantages of alts, just being able to, during events and things that happen, if you have some alts, you can, benefit from being able to run, daily quests multiple times, once on each character. Plus, if you have alts, the dilithium refining limit, so you can only refine 8,000 dilithium ore per day, but you can do that on each alt. So if you do it this way, if you have multiple alts, you can all be refining all the ore that you get, and end up with more actual spendable dilithium, as opposed to just, if you just have one character with overloads of ore, you're stuck only being able to refine 8,000 per day. So something to keep in mind. This one's not looking so good. Well, didn't quite get it. But, yeah, I thought I'd kind of decided that I would go through and do the whole thing. I'm kind of curious to see how long this video goes and get an idea. You know, you can get an idea of how long it actually takes to, you know, do a full run of doing the Dilithium Asteroid and then doing the 3 quests in the Dilithium holding for your fleet. Get a good idea of just, you know, how long it takes, how much Dilithium you can get per unit time, and how efficient it is, particularly on the Dilithium weekends. So I am thinking about some potential upcoming videos and some topics. I do have a couple of ship build videos I could probably do if anyone is interested to see a particular ship build video. Let me know. I do have all of the intelligence ships because I bought the Delta. What is it called? Delta Operations Pack, I believe, which has all of the intelligence ships in it, so I could do build videos on any of those. I do have the Astica, the Vodwar Astica heavy cruiser on one of my characters, and that's in fact the only low-buy ship that I actually own. I actually bought it for about 100 million or so. I think it was maybe a little bit under that, 190 some million energy credits on the exchange. So I could do a build video on that. I'm kind of leaning towards that one. I think that's probably, as a low-buy ship, maybe not so many people have that as some of the other ones. Another ship that I thought might be a good idea would be to do a build video on the Sarthelm, the Breen carrier that came out with the last winter event. Some people might be interested to see that. It's kind of a cool science-y kind of carrier. Alright, so yeah, while I'm heading to this last area, as you can see, I kind of did my clockwise rotation here, and right around here is where you need to drop down. So there's kind of this little pit where the rich mine always appears. So it can be a little bit tricky to find. So you can see where I was on the map, and you can see right here is where you need to drop down. And drop down more. And there's this little chasm here. And I know if you've been in an environmental suit or done any of the missions before, you do have these little navigation points that you can use, and then you click on your thrusters, which you will need to use to get across this gap. And we'll head down to this last area. Looks like it's right over here. Alright, let's give this a try. Let's go into try hard mode here, because I do want to try to get 700 score on this last one. So like I said, this one, I believe you almost get 1,000. It's like 900 something, or just for this one patch of crystals. So far, so good. Got 10 seconds left. Yes. There we go. No problems. Lots of time to spare. Wow, 895. That's actually a pretty high score. But there you go, 960 ore just for that one. Just remember, you got to have a tier 3 dilithium mine with your fleet to be able to do this. So usually what I do is, rather than trying to get all the way back up to the turn-in, I find it's easier just to beam up to the ship and then beam back down. You know, it's a little bit faster, saves a little bit of time. But since I refined my ore, let's head beam back down and do the turn-in. Since I refined my ore before we did the fleet holding here, let's see how much we got. So there we go, 4,500. Which is, you know, pretty average run. I didn't get 700 on every ore patch, but I did get, you know, did get between the, you know, always got over the 500, and sometimes it got over the 700 threshold. So, you know, pretty average run. And it totals up to the 4,500 for, you know, maybe, I'm not sure if that was 15 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 around there, but I was kind of talking and stuff. But I think you could probably do all these 3 quests in the, at least in the holding, probably within the 15 minutes or so. I'm going to go and refine that. And let's not forget to go down here and turn it in. But yeah, definitely make sure to turn it in so you start your 20-hour countdown timer going. And that is it. You can do that once a day. And I definitely recommend doing it on the ore weekends. Definitely let me know in the comments if you have any questions about any of the ore mining. Or if you have any suggestions on build videos that you'd like to see. I earlier mentioned, you know, a few ships that I have. If you'd like to see anything of those, I will be doing a build video. One other idea I've had for a video coming up is a guide on the upgrade system. I've been thinking about this one for a while, so I definitely want to do that. It's definitely one of the more difficult systems, I believe, for, you know, especially for new players. I remember when I was first starting the game, I didn't even really want to, you know, get into the upgrade system. I thought it was too complicated, and eventually I got to the point where I, you know, understood it better, and I realized what you needed to do. And, you know, once you figure it out, it's not too bad. So I thought it would provide a guide there, at least about, you know, what I've learned with the upgrade system. So that is it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun on your dilithium weekend and got lots of ore to refine. And yeah, so hopefully this was useful. Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate it. Bye for now.